So knowing that, the first thing that we need to do is we need to connect to our database. So the way you do that is actually pretty simple with Mongoose. So I'm just going to make a new file here called test. And basically, once you install Mongoose, which is already installed for you, you just need to run an npm install. You're already there. We're just going to require it. And it's pretty simple to connect. The only thing you have to do is, I'm just going to make a function here called connect, and you'll see why in a minute, is you can use the mongoose.connect function or method here. And the way that you connect to databases in Mongo is it's pretty straightforward. You just have to give it a URL. And I'm just going to give you the format of what a Mongo URL looks like. The first part is going to be the protocol. The protocol for MongoDBs is going to be MongoDB. That's going to be the protocol. Just like in the URL in the browser, the protocol is HTTP, or a WebSocket is WS. For Mongo, it's MongoDB. So that's the protocol that you're going to use for URLs. Once you got the protocol, you're going to type in the host name to it. In this case, because you're on your machine, the host name is going to be localhost. So we're going to say localhost. So we got the protocol, we got the host name, and then you need to add the explicit port. By default, everyone in here should probably most likely be binding to the same default port that Mongo binds to, which is going to be 27017. That's going to be the default port that Mongo binds to. You can change that if you want, but I would just keep it there to save. Because if somebody else uses this and then they didn't set that setting, it's just going to be annoying. So just keep that there. Unless for whatever reason you just love that port and you got something else running on it, then yeah. So once you have that, the next thing is the name of the database. And you can put whatever you want here. Remember, if it's there, it'll connect to it. If it's not there, it'll create it. So you can put literally whatever you want here. Doesn't matter. And now you're connected to the database. And mongoose.connect returns a promise. So you can just put a return here. And now we have a connect function that returns a promise that connects to the database. And that's about it. There's this other option here in Mongoose that has different types of options, and depending on what version of Mongoose you might be running, all of you are running the latest version, you might have to pass in some different parameters. You might get some warnings in the console that says, hey, you have to pass this option. Just listen to those warnings and pass those options. And like I said, it's going to be dependent on what version of Mongoose and combination of Mongo that you have. They change it all the time. Sometimes Mongo updates, but Mongoose might be lagging behind, so you'll see a lot of deprecated warnings in the terminal. Sometimes you can't do anything about that because it's not your code. It's Mongoose internally. So just try your best to adhere to those warnings. But if it's a deprecation warning that you can't deal with, then don't worry about it.